Okay, welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at a source that's really focused on how to build success. It's more like a script, a guide.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it zeroes in on one key idea it presents as crucial for success, which is self-discipline.
Exactly. So our mission here is to unpack what this particular text says about self-discipline. You know, what it is, why it matters, according to the source.
And importantly, the actual practical steps it suggests for building it up.
Yeah, getting the core ideas without you having to read the whole thing yourself.
Okay, so let's get into it. The source starts by defining self-discipline and keeps it pretty simple.
How does it put it?
It says it's basically doing the right thing,
Mhm.
even when, you really don't feel like it. It frames it as having control over your own mind.
That control aspect seems key. And it gives an example, right? Something relatable.
Oh, totally. A really common one. Like, you need to study for an exam, but your phone's right there.
The lure of social media.
Exactly. And self-discipline, in this view, is that moment where you actually stop yourself from scrolling and choose to study instead.
Yeah.
That choice.
Makes sense. That internal tug of war.
Yeah.
So after defining it, the source then really emphasizes why it's so important. What are the benefits it points to?
Right. It says self-discipline helps you finish your work on time, which is pretty fundamental.
Okay. Foundational stuff.
Yeah. And it's presented as essential for actually hitting your goals, whatever those might be. Plus, beyond just getting things done,
There's more.
yeah, the source mentions it helps you feel proud, feel strong. So there's a definite, emotional, psychological payoff highlighted too.
And what about the flip side? The cost of not having it, according to this text.
Well, it's pretty blunt about that. It says without self-discipline, you can easily slip into laziness, waste time.
And feel bad about it later, I imagine?
So that's exactly what it says. You end up feeling bad later on. Creates a kind of negative loop.
So self-discipline is positioned as the way out of that loop, the way to build something positive. And it makes a pretty bold claim too, doesn't it? Calling it
A secret superpower for success. Yes, it definitely elevates it.
wow, a superpower. Not just a good habit, but something more potent.
It suggests it's this powerful force you can actually cultivate, not something you're just born with.
Okay, a superpower we can build. I like that. So it doesn't just say be disciplined, it actually lays out how. What are the steps?
Yeah, that's the core of it, really.
Yeah.
It moves into the practical how-to
Yeah.
and gives 5 specific steps for building this self-discipline.
All right, let's break those down. Step 1. Where does it say to start?
The first bit of advice is, maybe predictably, but importantly, set small goals.
Okay, start small. Why that emphasis? What's the reasoning in the source?
The idea it presents is, don't try to overhaul everything at once. Start with things that feel achievable, maybe even tiny, just to get some wins, build momentum.
And it gives that waking up early example, right?
Because, if you want to wake up earlier, don't just suddenly try for 5 a.m. if you usually get up at 9.
Right, that sounds like a recipe for hitting snooze.
Exactly. The source advises trying, say, 7 a.m. first. Get used to that. Then maybe 6:30 a.m. It's all about that slow, steady improvement. It implies aiming too high too fast just sets you up to fail.
Okay, small steps, gradual progress. Makes sense. What's step number 2 from the source?
Step 2 is make a daily routine.
Structure. So the idea is planning things out, knowing what's coming.
Precisely. The principle here, according to the text, is to actually plan your day. Know what you'll be doing in the morning, afternoon, evening. Have a structure.
And it paints a picture, like an 8 a.m. wake up, then maybe study at 9 for an hour.
Yeah, it gives that kind of snapshot. 8 a.m. wake up, 9 a.m. study, 10 a.m. breakfast. Just having that predictable sequence.
And what's the claimed benefit of having that routine?
This is interesting. The source claims that following a routine makes life feel easy.
Feel easy. That's quite a statement. Like,
Wow.
the structure itself reduces the effort.
Yeah, it suggests maybe it cuts down on decision fatigue or something. The structured path becomes the easier path, in a way.
Okay, I can see that. Life feeling easy. Appealing. So, we've got small goals, daily routine. What's the third step in this source's framework?
Step 3 is about removing distractions.
Okay, so identifying those things that pull you away and dealing with them.
Yes, exactly that. The source says you need to figure out what stops you from focusing and then take active steps to minimize their power over you.
And it lists the usual suspects, I bet. Phones, social media.
The classics are mentioned. Phone, games, noise, social media, all those things that grab your attention.
And the advice is practical, like put your phone somewhere else.
Pretty much. Keep your phone out of sight, or at least out of reach. Turn off notifications. The source even suggests, telling people, hey, I need to focus now. Please don't disturb me. Setting boundaries.
Creating that bubble for concentration. Okay. Step 4 sounds a bit nicer. Rewarding yourself.
Yes, this is about positive reinforcement. The principle, as the source puts it, is to give yourself a small treat or a break after you've done the discipline thing.
Like the example it uses, study for a couple of hours then.
Then take maybe a 15-minute break, grab a snack you like, listen to a song, something small and enjoyable.
Okay. And the why behind that?
The source says it makes your brain happy, basically. And importantly, it makes you want to do the work again. It connects the effort with a positive feeling.
Building that positive feedback loop makes sense. Okay, that's 4. Small goals, routine, remove distractions, reward yourself. What's the 5th and final step from this source?
The last one is simple, but maybe the hardest. Be patient.
Because this isn't something you just switch on overnight.
Exactly. The text is quite realistic here. It stresses that building self-discipline takes time. You won't be perfect on day one, and that's okay.
That feels crucial, acknowledging that you might slip up.
Absolutely. The source explicitly says failure is okay. If you mess up one day, don't just throw in the towel.
What's the advice then? Just get back on the horse.
Pretty much. Don't give up. Just try again the next day. Every day is presented as a first chance to practice and get a little bit better.
So resilience, consistency over perfection. That seems to be the message there.
That's definitely the feeling you get from that final step in the source, yeah.
Okay, so we've walked through the source's definition of self-discipline, why it thinks it's the secret superpower, and its 5 practical steps. Start small, make a routine, ditch distractions, reward yourself, and be patient.
Yeah, that really covers the main practical advice laid out in this text.
So if we boil it all down, what's the big picture message about success that this source is pushing?
I think the main takeaway is that success isn't presented as like magic or something only for the naturally gifted.
All right.
The source frames it as something you build piece by piece through these small, consistent daily actions.
And self-discipline is the engine driving those actions, the key ingredient.
That's exactly how it's positioned. And it ends on a really encouraging note, I think.
How so?
It basically suggests that even if you don't feel like you're the smartest person in the room or the fastest,
Yeah.
the ideas here imply that with self-discipline, with that consistent effort it enables, you can still win. It's framed almost as an equalizer.
The great equalizer. That idea that focused effort, powered by this discipline you can build, that it can level the playing field, that's a powerful thought to leave people with from this source.
It really is. It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? If self-discipline is this skill, this superpower, that's not about innate talent, but about practice.
What's the one small thing, that first tiny step you could take today to start building it? Something to think about.
Indeed. A good place